Welcome to Unraveling Success. I'm your host, Beth DeLaForest, and welcome to my 2026 Unfiltered project, I guess you could say. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about the power of micro conversations. And it's something that I feel like as leading a team, I have found it to be one of our keys to success. And I wanted to just share a little bit about what I've learned and how we approach it and how I feel as we've grown in this area of, I guess we're going to call them micro conversations, how it's really given our team the ability to grow in trust for each other and to build a culture of trust and willingness to be vulnerable. So I guess the micro conversations that I'm talking about are usually conversations that where we kind of have to like pull the bus over on the side of the road when there's the possibility of a miscommunication or a opportunity for conflict. Like that's the time where rather than um running with what human nature would do and making assumptions or assigning truth based off of our feelings, which lie to us all the time, assigning, um, us deciding to assign the intent of another person, which, you know, people do, um, having a micro conversation can kind of just change the whole trajectory of things. So, for me, I always teach my team email or text is for information, but phone calls and like Teams meetings and things of that nature are for communication. So, in times where there is potential for misunderstandings or for conflict, that's not a time for a text and it's not a time for an email. It's a time to just have a micro conversation. It's not something that you want to stuff down and wait until a review, or you don't want to bombard somebody with all kinds of garbage from a long time ago. So I think micro conversations are conversations to have like in that moment when something comes up. So I have some key principles. Like I think this is in my mind's eye, this is a key leadership principle in order to create trust in a team environment and for it to be healthy. And for me, this is a indicator of a healthy leader is someone who doesn't run based on assumptions and hide behind a keyboard, but somebody that's willing to pick up the phone and have micro conversations because in the end it creates a healthy environment that where everybody can flourish. And so um here's kind of what this looks like at Aspire. So for me, whenever I see there's a situation where there's an opportunity for a misunderstanding or possible conflict, and I find that maybe my mind is like making assumptions. Maybe I'm assigning somebody wrong, somebody right, or I think I know what happened, even though I only know bits and pieces. So one of the things that I've worked really hard to do for a couple of years now is stop making assumptions. I would say assumptions would only make an ASS out of you. Like that's what they do. Because usually our minds will go into, looking through our lenses in life, or there's always going to be a bias. And so you're never really, I can't say never. Very often you won't be completely correct. And we need to be able to give the other person an opportunity without us walking in judgment first. And so I always will reach out and then I assume best intent. So, how I've trained my brain to do this is when I start jumping to a conclusion or jumping to an assumption, I add the word or at the end. And I will be like, or, and then I'll make up a different scenario, meaning, sure, fine. Could it be the thing that I think that it might be? Sure. Or it could be this, which just reminds me that like, I don't know everything. I don't know the point of view that this person was at or the thoughts that they had to process to end where they ended. I don't know a lot of things. And so I will assume best intent, number one. Number two, I just ask questions. I ask clarifying questions. I get them to talk. I want to fully understand where they're coming from. So just a matter of staying curious and asking questions. So assume best intent, ask questions, and to clarify and to understand. And then I just feel like as humans, right? One of the best gifts that we can do for each other and one of the best ways to build trust in your team is for them to know that you're not just going to run and assign a negative, like, you're not going to assign something or assume something bad of them. You're going to assume best intent and give them the opportunities to speak for themselves without you feeling like you're against them. And so when you do that, it gives an opportunity, if a mistake has been made or a conflict that needs to happen, you have then full understanding. You've asked clarifying questions, you've had a conversation with your team member, and then you can start a conversation like moving forward from there. Like, how do we build forward? How do we where do we go from here? Those have been some of the most meaningful conversations for me and for our team is, okay, well, here's where we are now and what's the path forward. And some of the most beautiful interactions have come out of micro conversations. And also, as I'm preparing, we do a leadership survey every February, and it kind of gauges, it's anonymous. How is conflict being navigated and things of that nature? And I can definitely attribute our micro conversations to, a lot of trust being built with an organization, and those leadership surveys. I always will learn and glean things from them. But as far as like trust in the team and how conflict is being navigated, like those are always really high marks. And I really do think it's because of the micro conversations. Like nobody feels like everybody's just, stuffing things down and hiding things in their back pocket until it's time for review or time to get feedback. So um, that's one thing. April's our Tier 360s, and July is our reviews. And it has made reviews just such a pleasure because there's nothing, I mean, if there's ongoing stuff that needs to be discussed, of course it will be discussed, but you're just getting the little cluttery things and just getting in the front of things. It's a very proactive, very human centric way to handle a team and handle leadership. Um, so I guess I would just say take time if you are leading a team or leading anybody to really hit pause on any kind of assumptions, and add to the end or, and come up with something else that it could be. So you're assuming best intent. Pick up the phone or meet on Teams and be curious and ask questions so that you can fully understand rather than making assumptions. And you'll see the trust curve in your organization um, go up exponentially. I'm excited to hear if you have a micro conversation with one of your team members.